report to you with the very eventful marriage of a Strymon Iridium, a variax, and a HELIX floor. Notice as I'm whacking away with my feet here, changing sounds by changing snapshots. And why that's working is I've mapped the volume pot here and the tone pot to both the level and the drive potentiometers on the Iridium. Loud. So what's going on is I have an Iridium because I have a travel board and it's nice and small and it takes over the simple 3 amp and 2 IR loading thing. So that saves me a bunch of blocks on my HX Stomp. But when I'm home, it's a whole different story because here in the lab, I'm driving everything with the big HELIX as much as possible. So this is part of a new series where I am building these templates, shall we say, for the big HELIX floor, and they're usually going to be a bit complex, which is why I'm making them and sharing them, because I think this would be a good thing to adopt throughout the Mini Mad Scientist community, the Strymon Iridium community, the Plethora X5 community, and anyone with any mini device. So I've set this thing up so it can bypass, so I can select cabinets, swap amps, change the room size, and for the bass, middle, and treble buttons, what I've done with them, some of them I've mapped to the big EXP on the floor. Others, I've set up favorite positions which you can change. So imagine your knobs positions are usually around 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, or 5 o'clock when you're ramming it all the way over. You can program in those individual steps. So where this gets interesting, and I'm putting the caveats at the beginning here, as it seems to be the best place to get the why is this such a big deal thing out of the way. One, the Iridium is great because of its interface, because of its simplicity, because of those knobs, and you can get to it, but me, I like splitting my stuff up, and if it doesn't have to stay on the floor, I would rather have a little subboard up on my desk where I can play with stuff and run through knobs and have things at desk height and leave the floor on the floor. So that brings up all these remote control options, and basically what I'm aiming to do is, I've got maybe 8 guitars. I'm looking to just simply take the variax and approximate the variations of guitars, which you can do just by twisting this knobby knob here. I have the Poker Face by Chad playing. Now just the volume. That gives some stank. So it's just the internal drive. Notice feet are not touching anything. So I like that. All I have to do now is tap save with my foot twice. Now my snapshot number 5. Mr. Pokerface is ready. Notice everything done right there. Easy as pie. So let me put down the guitar, grab the tablet, and show you what's what. Welcome back. Here we are. This is the Iridiax Vox and Fender version. You can change this up easily however you want. So this is in snapshot view. And I have an 89 bridge, Duesenberg, love that thing. On the Vox, a Firebird, a Gretsch, an Epicasino, an ES-175, a little 55 Les Paul, I think this is just P90s, and Chad's Pokerface. And those are all running different values as I just saved on the Iridium. Now, take a note of interest. The variax is providing the signal coming in. That's going to the out block. The out block is just the one cable going out. And what you're hearing through the mic here of the tablet is coming straight through that custom. So the HELIX is not actually doing anything other than MIDI control. But that's clear. So switch modes. This is the stop mode. Now here, as I mentioned, I've set up a bypass, which you can see. Ding, turns it off. Turns it on. Cab select, so you can switch between two different cabs. These are all CC toggles. Amp swap. The bass, middle, and trebles, as I mentioned. And the room size. The room I've got mapped to this other EXP here. So, as mentioned before, basically what I'm trying to do here is cover all these settings: drive, bass, middle, treble, room, level. The on fade buttons have mapped as well, and some choice of cabs, some choice of amps. You can change this with every preset. Just copy and paste this to a new preset and change two things and you're done. Which I think is cool. But the idea is this: the Iridium ties locally inside its little memory there all of those settings, and when you recall, PC08, it goes to the 8th program and says, okay, what were the settings? Here are the 6, 7, 8 settings in a row, do it. You could easily just take those same values and stick them in here, and that's kind of what this is doing. We go to the command center. Here she is. The top row are instant commands. The bottom two rows are all the foot switches. And what you see highlighted are the 3 expression pedals. The 2 up above it are the 2 variax pedals. And those are all mapped. So even if it seems like a really simple template, which it is, the idea is that you put that in your templates and then pick it apart. You can copy and paste whatever you need out of it if you're digging for a sound, and put that in your own preset. And so that controls everything. And when you're at home, that's great. But what I would normally be doing is running all this through the Sim1, the Iridium in the loop of the stomp, to make one unique little travel board which can go anywhere. So this thing is huge, but makes one hell of a MIDI controller. So that's the mission, folks. We have this Copilot scheme set up, and a variax and Helix floor topic set up now in the groups, and this is the second project we're working on. So there will be more plethora stuff coming, and there will be other 2 forks in the road here because this thing's massive. So fortunately, the Morningstar guys, James Toe and all them, have just put out some new firmware for the MC6, which is amazing. And that can actually probably do things that this can't. So there will be another video on an MC6 version of doing this. Obviously, I kind of root for this thing at home because this is massive screens, massive lights, tells you everything you need to know in one go, and I've got the variax with me at all times, which will do any sound I could possibly want. So that's the deal with this thing. You will find this lovely little preset with its modes. And you can even go up and down snapshots here. Toggle stuff on and off as you wish, and it will record all of that into the snapshot. So I think it's a very ingenious way to have MIDI control. That is, of course, the hottest one there is. Cool. So that's it. And the idea would be that you'd stick in whatever you want before that. You could stick in whatever you want after it. You could open another loop up and run these things all in parallel with actual Helix amps and drives and stick a plethora at the end of it. Sky's the limit. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this. If you have questions, let me know. Oh yeah, one thing. My Iridium is on channel 3. My plethora is going to be on channel 11. I've already designated it as such. Sim 1's on 2. The best way, I think, that you could do this is to set up sort of like a circle where people produce these things and ask for help. So whatever equipment you've got, it could be I don't know, a collider or some other groovy reverb pedal. What was the other one? I was looking at the GFI Specular Tempest, which is amazing. But I chose the plethora in the end. So it would be cool if the Mini Mad Scientist Club could do a hive mind thing, take all the pedals, and we should make Helix remotes like this for them, so you can cut and paste and shapeshift stuff all over the place. I think that would be really cool. Anyway, have a good night. Okay, so back again. So let's talk about these remotes. So this whole thing started as a little co-pilot challenge over in the Plethora X5 group, which is coming along nicely. And my first challenge was to get the plethora to do more helixy things. And the best way I found to do that was just grab a helix and let that take over as the brains. Now with the Iridium, it's a totally different thing. I was thinking it would be a lot more simple to hook up, but not so much. This is the thing with the Iridium. The Iridium is simplicity itself, but it's one of those pedals where the egg can stay on your board, but realistically you've only got 2 switches, and it would kind of ergonomically better sit up on a desk or as part of a little fly rig, as mine does. So why bring these 2 worlds together? First up, the variax itself, when it's combined with a helix, has 2 expression knobs here, the volume and the tone knob, and those can control anything, any parameter, any MIDI output, anything in the helix. So that is driving level, that is driving distortion down on the tiny little Iridium. Gives me a really quick way to select a guitar, pick an amp, select a tone, dial it in all from here. So or the floor. I don't even have to have the Iridium in the same room. It can be downstairs. And all this MIDI mucking about on a nice big Helix floor means that when I go back to the stomp to get out of here, I've been able to go through and configure all those tones quickly and then save them. So I'm hoping with 3.0, when the command center comes to the Helix stomp, things are going to be even better. But yeah, I think this is really cool. So, clip, stop, snap, start again.